Hey guys, welcome to All Swartz Adventure. I'm Nate.
I'm Sarah.
And we are Adventures with a Budget. And today, surprisingly, we don't find ourselves skydiving, canyoneering,
We're leaving right now.
or even fishing.
No, today we're talking about one of our biggest passions on our channel. And I think one of our, really our biggest hope, desire for our channel is that we would influence or inspire other people to adventure with a budget. And such a big part of that is being financially mindful of the future. And so today we're gonna dig into that. We're actually meeting with
a really cool guy. He was my mentor when I was 17.
Him and his wife Jody did our premarital counseling.
And he's the owner of Stewardship, a really cool company that loves people through finances. So we're gonna talk to him about what it means to be financially mindful of the future, but we're gonna let him tell you more about him and his business. Let's go. Oh, okay, we're doing it that way too. What's up, man? What's up? Good. So this is you right here.
This is it. Stewardship.
Stewardship.
Yep. This is us.
Okay.
Can I serve you a drink?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with an Izzy.
An Izzy. Okay, we have that.
What's the reason behind all of this?
Okay, so the reason for this is when people talk about finances, a lot of times they're coming in either consciously or subconsciously with some barriers. It can be uncomfortable. It can be almost embarrassing. It can be just intimidating as a whole. So we want to try to create an office environment that makes people comfortable. If we have, when they walk in, it feels a little bit like a coffee shop or it feels like they're home, then that's going to help them get comfortable with it so that some of those barriers, whether they're conscious or subconscious, can be broken down. And that allows us to connect with them better and really serve them better. So yeah, that's the whole purpose behind this. Oh, and plus I really just like coffee, so yeah.
Okay.
Here we are in Grant's office conference area space at Stewardship. And again, a little bit about Grant to us is he was Nate's mentor
My mentor
since
when I
he
was
was like 17. Him and his wife Jody, who is super awesome, did our premarital counseling. He's probably what Nathan wants to be like when he grows up, as well as the biggest Cubs fan in the world.
Yes.
I should have said the wrong team.
Yeah.
Biggest.
That would have been the thing that I wouldn't know how to respond to.
Dang it.
Get out.
Okay.
Get out.
So maybe you can tell us just a little bit about Stewardship and all the bells and whistles that go along with your accreditations.
Yeah, sure. Simply put, Stewardship, we do home loans, insurance, and investments with wisdom and love. So we do our best to give people advice when it comes to their personal finances, and we try to be able to help them in every area of their personal finances. Accreditations. Basically, I have probably more personal financial licenses than I know what to do with. I have a mortgage broker's license, a loan originator license, insurance, all of them, investment advisor, the whole thing. So yeah, that's Stewardship. That's me.
Qualified.
Yeah, I guess.
Qualified, absolutely. So with our channel, again, we hope to influence people and inspire them to go on adventures.
Yeah.
Especially, I think, younger people, like maybe 20s and 30s, to not wait. So I think something we ran into on the road, which we just got done with our 3-month essentially vacation where we traveled from Alaska to Arizona and road tripped everywhere in between, and we met so many amazing people, and we would usually get one of two responses. One of them being, wow, you're so young and you're adventuring, that's awesome. And because we would meet people that were 60 or 70 years old checking off the first thing on their bucket list. And this longing for, man, I wish I would have adventured earlier.
Okay.
But then we also know millennials get this really bad rap for not planning for the future.
Not playing. Yeah.
Not having a thought for tomorrow or anything like that. And we want to be financially mindful of the future. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So I think the bottom line with any adventure that you're going to be going on, it's important to, as you guys say, adventure with a budget. Yeah. And some people don't like that word, budget is the nasty B word. But really, what it is just a plan. On any adventure you go on, you're going to have a plan, whether it be financial or not. You're going to say to yourself, if we run across this situation, we're going to do X, Y, and Z just to survive,
Yeah.
right? And that's the same thing with your finances. You've got to have a plan. And you have to be able to write down, this is what we're going to do financially on this adventure to make sure that this adventure works out for us. And the reason why that's so important is because so many people will go on a vacation, even if it's over a weekend or a 3-month adventure, and they will overspend.
Yes.
It happens almost all the time. I mean, I'm going to ask you guys, how many times did you come across a situation that was outside of your plan financially? That happened?
Yeah.
We went through so many tires.
Went through
or
3 sets of
food.
tires in a trailer this summer. Didn't expect that to happen.
There was just things that came up that were like, thank God for the budget.
Yeah, and beyond that, I think some people have like this attitude when they go on a vacation and they go on an adventure that's like, I'm free, I have this freedom,
Right.
and then that creates like this social science, like this behavioral science where they're like, they don't even think about anything financially either.
Yeah.
And then they just spend willy-nilly, do whatever they want, and that puts them in a lot of trouble because it prevents them from going on more adventures later.
Yes.
And that's kind of rough. So I would say as a whole, making sure that you have a plan for what your adventure is going to look like financially, writing down what are all those expenses, what are all the expenses that we're thinking about on this adventure, and then adding 20% to that. Because how many tires are going to get blown out or life is going to happen. So making sure that you are prepared for not just what you think is going to be there, but even the stuff you necessarily don't know is going to be there.
It's good.
A situation that we've ran into a little bit, and that I'm sure everyone knows someone, but they'll go on a vacation, and there's a fear or a reality that when you come back from vacation, their funds aren't there to continue the life as it was, or the responsibilities that come with that life, that being financially mindful of what you have to do. So talk a little bit about that, I guess. Like, is that something that's common, you think? How do you prevent that?
Yeah, I'd say a win for a vacation or any adventure is for you to be able to come home with the memories and those experiences, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to come home with any financial hardship as a result. So not having a plan for your adventure or your vacation means that sometimes you'll come home with a whole bunch of debt, and then you have to try to figure out how to take care of that. Or worse, if you go on a long-term vacation like you guys just did, an adventure for 3 months, when you come back, now what? How are you guys going to figure out, or what are you going to do till your next adventure?
Yeah.
And I think it's wise to not only just write down, hey, this is the things that we're going to be paying for, this is what our adventure is going to look like, and then add 20%. But before going on that adventure, you need to make sure that you have either income set aside or savings set aside for when you get back.
Right.
Because if you don't have that, you're going to take home with you more than just the memories and the experiences. You're going to take home with you some financial issues. And those financial issues, sadly, can prevent you from going on that next adventure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think that's super important to make sure, hey, look, yes, let's make a budget, let's make a plan for the adventure, but before we go, let's save to make sure that we're good for when we get back.
Right.
Which I think is a huge part of being financially mindful of the future. Having a comeback plan and then planning your vacation or your adventure, whatever that is, however long that is. And so I think another thing that, as like a millennial, we get ratted out all the time because we don't have a plan for the future. Okay, so I want to adventure and I want to work, and then I want to adventure and I want to work, but at the end of my life or whatever, there's this retirement idea. What are those things I'm supposed to be saving for? What are those things I'm supposed to be financially mindful of?
Yeah, I think along with that word budget that most millennials don't like, that word retirement a lot of people don't like, or it comes with some
It's gray. It's gray. Like, what is retirement?
Yeah, exactly. What does that look like? I think that it doesn't mean you have to live in a golf course community and then do nothing for the rest of your life.
I stink at golf right now.
That's not what it has to look like. I really think that retirement just looks like another phase or different types of adventures. And when you're aging, you might want to bring on other people with you to those adventures and share with them some of your wisdom, share with them some of the other experiences that you've had, whether that be your kids or your grandkids or whatever else.
Right.
But either way, your adventure is still going to be there. And you might not know exactly what that adventure is going to look like, but if you have money set aside, it's going to give you the flexibility to bring those relationships with you, or rehash some of those new experiences, or go on new experiences. So being mindful for the far off future just
Yes.
has to do with saving now. And there is a really cool way to do that, I mean, at least here in the United States, to save and lower your taxable income. And I believe everyone should be doing this at a bare minimum.
Okay, pay attention. Just pay attention now.
So if you, there's a thing called an IRA. You can put up to $5,500, at least today, as of today's date, you can put at least $5,500 per year into this savings account.
Mm-hmm.
And this savings account is set aside for retirement. And if you put it into this retirement account, it also lowers your taxable income.
Yeah.
So as an example, okay, we'll just use some simple numbers. If you have $10,000 worth of income and put $5,500 of that $10,000 in a savings account, the government can only tax you on the $4,500 that's left over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So instead of being taxed on the full $10,000, you're now only taxed on the $4,500. So you're paying less to the government, and you just put money away for savings.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if you only have $10,000 worth of income, you're not going to want to save over half of it. I mean, if you can do that, great. But like the reality is, you can put money aside,
Yeah.
save for your far off future, and lower the amount that you have to pay to the government in taxes at the same time. And it's
Yeah.
great. And look, if you're young and you do this every single year, $5,500, you will be in a great spot when you get older. Your retirement or your adventures as you age to 40, 50, 60, 70 years old,
Yeah.
you'll have a lot more flexibility. You'll have a lot more freedom, and it'll be a beautiful, beautiful thing. I mean, I know some people that have gone on adventures when they were younger and they're middle aged, and they came back and they didn't plan for when they got back,
Yeah.
or they didn't put money aside for retirement,
I believe it.
and now they're stuck. And it's pretty sad. Like when we
Yeah.
chat with them, we try to help them, and we do walk them through things. It's not the ideal life that they want to be in.
Yeah.
They want to continue to adventure, and they can't.
Yep.
Because they didn't plan for the future. But if you guys do that, if you
guys do that,
if you say, hey, look, we're going to take that $5,500 every year, make sure we're putting this away, you'll be totally fine, and you'll be able to adventure well. So.
Right.
Wow.
I think this is something we did, and maybe something you and I have talked about in the past, but a way to, whether that's make your vacation more attainable or make that savings goal, again, $5,500 a year for someone who maybe isn't saving a ton right now, that's a big number. And so something that makes all that easier is just finding living within your means, or reducing some of those maybe extraneous expenses, like especially for the vacation, or like some things. What are some things we did this summer to really like cut expenses now so we could save more?
I mean, the food budget.
Food budget. We did a food video which just talked about like eating cans of soup, reheating soup and putting it back in that can there for lunches. Or in Alaska we caught salmon, and that was our fantastic homeless meals. But like all these different ways. So
we said no to a lot of things now,
There you go.
so we could say yes to things later.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all it really comes down to is that saying no. It's what's your priority.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't prioritize the far off future because they can't touch it.
Yeah.
They can't feel it. They can't see it, right?
Yeah.
So if you say, oh man, $5,500 a year, I can't do that. Well, let's make it simpler. 5,500 divided by 12, what is that monthly, right? Then look at your monthly income and say, what are some things that I need to prioritize less to ensure I can put this away monthly? And then there's another thing you can do. You can do it on an automated basis. You can make sure that, okay, on payday when money comes into this account, you can set it up with your employer to make sure that it goes in there automatically, or even if you don't have stuff with the employer, you get YouTube income or whatever's happening.
Right.
Like you can take that and then have it automatically go into. There's several amazing apps and different things that you can do this. I mean, one that I really like is called Betterment. They have a really neat app on the phone. You set up your bank account and you say, hey, look, I want to set aside X amount of dollars per month and per year for my IRA as a goal, and they help you make sure those goals are happening, and it happens automatically. So it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, Betterment. It's a beautiful app. It's really great.
Really cool.
Yeah.
All of this has just been a really super simple, easy, quick start conversation about what it looks like to be financially mindful of the future. You do not have to wait 50 years to start crossing off your bucket list. And you need to be financially mindful now so that you can continue to go on adventure after adventure, and your life is just going to be this adventure, and then you don't get to the near end of your life and you're not financially stuck or miserable. So just wrap it up for us. What are our 3 key takeaways?
All right, 3 key takeaways are this. One is you have to create a plan for the adventure that you're going to go on, and then add 20% to that, right? So make your budget, add 20%, give some margin. Step 2, make sure you have money saved and set aside for when you come back from that adventure, right? And step 3, plan long term. Start saving and getting some tax benefits as a result of that saving for the far off future every single year. You do those 3 things, not only will you be able to have a lot more peace when you go on adventures now, but it's going to allow you to go on way more adventures throughout your life.
Yeah. Grant, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, to talk to everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe.
All that jazz!
Until next time, continue to adventure within the budget. Bye.
Peace out.